Awesome. Do you want my mic or are you good?
Good.
All right.
Testing. All right, so my name is Nathaniel, and this is our game Backtrack. I was the producer, and I also worked on most of the audio. This is Sander. He did our level design for us and was secondary programmer. Alex did most of our arts and aesthetics, and Sean was our main programmer. So I'm going to go over the story, and if you want, you can go ahead and play. So our story involves a convict in the 1800s steampunk era who is committed a heinous crime and is being chased by his jailers. So in order to escape, he goes to a secret government facility and finds a super speedy suit that lets him go the speed of light. Using this, he runs back in time in order to escape his jailers. So he's going to go through the 1800s steampunk era to a medieval era, Stone Age, and then finally before Earth itself, where you are running through the universe. I'll let Sander talk about level design.
So for level design, I had Nathaniel design 2 of the levels, and I designed 3 of them. The first levels were meant to give the player a nice introduction to the game and get them used to the mechanics of it. And then as the levels went on, I tried to make it a bit more difficult to do so. And I tried syncing up the moving platforms with the time that the player got there to give them kind of like a fighting chance if they start falling off the level itself. And I tried to put most of the hazards in places that the player would possibly land at to give them faster reflex time to get by quickly. And I'm going to hand off now to Alex to discuss the art aesthetics.
So I took care of most of the art and animation. I did all the player animations, both the running state and the jumping state for the spinning jump and the regular jump. I used different palettes and textures and styles to kind of capture the essence of the different time periods, and I made different hazards and charging stations to kind of aid with that. I'm going to hand this back to Nathaniel.
All right, and I'll quickly go past the controls as well. So we have a regular jump, which is our space bar, but you can also perform a spinning jump using the right and left arrow keys. The spinning jump will propel you faster, but is a lot harder to use, and we wanted to add that in as a sort of skill cap. So if you were more advanced at the game, you would have something that let you get through the levels faster. And that's pretty much our game. Thanks for listening.
I'll get this party started. Alright, so I think with the theme, I find it a little bit confusing, kind of being a light suit that you find in 1800s. That said, that's not necessarily a knock against the game, but I think you want to play up the goofiness of that, right, a little bit more. From a gameplay standpoint, it leads into something that's really interesting that you saw, where you touch the stars and you go faster, but the faster you go, the harder it is to react. And there, I think, lies some of the really interesting parts of the game. With that in mind, the level design, is picking up to explore the intricacies of that mechanic. And I think where you missed a little bit was that instead of going for something that gets you going fast in all the zones, you kind of played it back and let the player start reacting to the different hazards. And I would have maybe gone with a less hazards approach, more speed, because that's your awesome hook part of your game, and not wait till the end level to get there. From that standpoint, though, I think that everything looked like it was functioning really well. The health system was pretty clear and visible on screen, though there may have benefited from like an animation or like a color change on the character to show that. I still think it was pretty clear like how much life you guys had left. And the layouts of the levels seemed like they were set up in a way that wasn't too frustrating or challenging, and once you did get to that last level that you had enough of the skills to kind of work your way through it, and a quick reset allows the player to kind of just deal with maybe dying or losing. Like, the levels aren't that long, so there's not a lot of loss. From an art standpoint, I think that the backgrounds kind of confused the landscape and the things that you had to land on a little bit, and I think when you're doing those processes, you kind of want to get as much as you can to differentiate the background art from the foreground where you have to interact and touch with. And I think that's kind of a collaboration between, you know, the level, the person placing the art and the level to notice that, and then conveying that to the artist to maybe touch up the art and make certain things in the foreground more vibrant, or figure out how to make less saturated backgrounds so they can help pull those out. Otherwise, I thought the effort that you guys put in this looked really, really good. And I think from a gameplay standpoint, there's a lot of interesting things that are going on there. So it was pretty cool ideas and good work on programming it out and making it look really clean, non-buggy, and that sort of stuff.
Continue this party. I will expand a little bit on what James said. A common thing that I see, especially in side scrollers, is that it's hard to tell what is something that I can land on versus, or what's an obstacle, what's collision versus what's just in the background. That said, the different backgrounds indicating the time period were really well done. It was really clearly defined. This looks like fun. This looks like something I would play. And it looks really, really polished considering how long you guys have had to work, so good work on that.
Yeah, I'd agree that as a game it looks like it'd be fun to play. I like the idea of the speed. I like how the animations look, like he looks like he's running slow and he's running fast. What I was looking for was some tension. You said like he's running away from his enemies, but I don't see any enemies. And I'm not quite sure how the health works, or like what the danger or damage is. Like as I'm running through, like what's going to make me die as I run through those pieces. So that idea of how that works, but of knowing what it exactly is that I'm trying to get away from, I feel a little tension would add to that. But it seems like you've really laid out a really nice outline. Like I can see where this game could go, where you can start getting those other pieces there. Some of the comments about the way the art could upgrade, and we can make those little things come in. I can see those things getting added to what seems like a really nice base, kind of Sonic-like mechanic to start with. So, well done.
I will agree that I think that the gameplay was there. I was able to see how I would have fun with it, and being able to play with speed and change my skill level, changing how fast and quickly and effectively I moved through the level. I was really, really happy with that. So I also noticed a bit of sound effects in there, so good job with that. The sound effects seemed to match the game and the game sort of artistically, so that was actually pretty good too. And so the theme, tying in with the theme, I thought was pretty good, running through time, and the game mechanics sort of like, you know, going with that theme that you're telling through the art and the story and everything else. So it all sort of comes together cohesively, which I really appreciate. I was a bit upset when there was only text on the title screen, but the rest of the gameplay looks like all of the levels are different and change with the different areas that you go through. So that was nice. I liked how the gameplay, the foreground elements, you were at least mindful of the fact that the foreground elements would match with the background. Maybe a little too much because it was really hard to distinguish between foreground and background, but I did like how, you at least thought about that, so that was pretty good. And the backgrounds were pretty interesting, so I was pretty on board with watching you play the game just to see what the next background is going to look like, so thank you.